immigrated to the America, or I immigrated here from Iran in 2011, and only 2 years later, I was admitted to University of Virginia as a transfer student, third year. And the whole combination of an immigrant experience and mindset, when I was just learning about this country, the people, and different dimensions that it has to offer, with the transfer student experience was very interesting and at times challenging. So for me to be able to kind of find a balance between all of that and the difficult major that I was in as a chemistry major, I decided to start taking some art classes at UVA Arts, and that kind of led into me working for the Franklin Museum of Art for like the next 5 years, even after graduation, as well as kind of adding another major to my degree as an studio arts major. And here we are talking about all of that. My most favorite experience with the arts at UVA was taking an internship course. Actually, there are like two different courses that I had to take in 2 different semesters, but kind of allowed us to learn about the history of arts, as well as an opportunity to intern in different departments of the Franklin Museum of Art. And I became, I was like very happy to kind of serve both curatorial department as well as the business development. And those experiences, especially on the business development side, working with Elizabeth Wright and Sarah Althoff, helped me to learn so much about the business side of things. Because as an artist, it is important to know how to market your own art, and that is something that I initially took away from that experience. And now, as a management consultant, where I've changed careers a couple times, I see that learning and the skills that I developed in the business development side of the things at the Franklin still show up in so many different parts of my work. Because we are in the people's business, as I like to call it, and we are business people. So I leverage that experience even to this day, 4 or 5 years later. I really love this question. Recently, I realized that the activities on the mindfulness-based work that contemplative sciences is doing is kind of growing and becoming more significant. And that mixed with the pandemic kind of making things difficult in terms of people-to-people interactions, emotional well-being, and overall wellness. I think art can really get in there and combine with the mindfulness work that is being done to kind of enhance that effort. And kind of, to me, at least personally, is where the future as a whole is going. And I think that a combination of art and mindfulness is going to be a very impactful work, or I don't know, part of UVA that can really touch the hearts, mind, body, and spirit of people. Yes, so I kind of see myself as this person who is kind of lives in the change little sphere. I feel like my life is constantly changing, and in the past 10 years, because of immigration, then my transition to UVA into this system of intellects, very, very smart people, and then kind of out of that, coming out as a chemist, working as a chemistry person, like chemist for a while in the chemistry industry, and eventually changing careers to management consulting. I now fully identify myself as a change agent. So the term is a little consulting, but kind of resonates with me. And 10 years after immigration, I decided to kind of publish this book called Immigrant. And when I viewed becomes a window, and to just talk about the process, the change, how a person like me came to America, and then what was the first thing that she experienced. So the first thing, for example, for me was like, okay, where am I? Everybody is very different. This is a very big melting pot. And from that, I started kind of trying to figure out what's next for me in terms of at first it was like, okay, I want to become more of American person, adopt a lot of the culture and kind of just be that. But after a little bit of trying that way of thinking and being and doing, I started realizing that, that's not me. So the biggest quest at that point was that, okay, how do I figure out my own authentic self? I'm a multilingual, multicultural person in this setting of America. And how can I leverage that diversity to kind of add value everywhere I go and kind of like reach the balance. So this is a book about change, adaptation, and finding the balance. Like Henry Matisse says, what I dream of is the art of balance. And that really resonates with me. And this book, I decided to write it first and foremost to help myself and people like me, not only immigrants, but whoever that might have gone through some change, learn how to kind of reflect back on their experiences to find that balance for themselves. Another thing for that was with every social justice events that happened, especially in 2020, I thought that it is very important for an immigrant voice and story to start getting out there and be included in those conversations, because everybody can learn something from, this is going to sound a little cliche, but kind of learning what's working, what's not, letting go of what's not working, and kind of moving forward with a change from an immigrant person, because most of us come here and start from scratch. And that calls for a certain type of like resiliency that I think like here our society can kind of, benefit from. I was so lucky to work at the Franklin Museum of Art and be a studio art major when I did at UVA, because the combination has helped me to turn my ideas, my visions, my thoughts into something tangible. As a painter, that's something we always do, right? Even if we are painting a still life, we will be looking into this still life, but then we will have some ideas on how we want to plan this painting. We start building strategy, and then with next step is to figure out how do we make it happen and make it a painting. So the thought process, the creative process, kind of translated into every aspects of my life, not in only the book. But when I was writing the book, I noticed that I'm also approaching it as if I'm going to paint something. I had this idea, I see what's in front of me, right? What's in front of me is like this immigrant journey, it's this social justice movement, it's the melting pot of America, and I have the stories. But like, okay, let's think about how do I want to build this composition in my mind the same way I build the compositions of the paintings, and kind of like plan on turning it into something more tangible, which is the book. So that I think was the ultimate outcome of my experiences at UVA as an art student. I recommend everybody to support arts, period. Because it is such an ancient and in a way very sacred skill set that is coming with us throughout the centuries. And since there were humans, there were art, right? And it has helped us significantly in so many different areas. Just like when I was talking about combining the arts with mindfulness practices, it has benefits beyond our own physical body. And that's one reason I support arts as in general. And how and why I support art at UVA is that because I think UVA has this like wonderful nest and tons of resources that as an artist we can really leverage and tap into. As a very accomplished institution, UVA can empower every individual artist with their dreams and ideas as long as they know what they really want, right? It's sometimes hard to figure out as a college student where I want to go. But I've seen, at least in my case, even after I graduated, I was still able to tap into UVA research, just like today, right? I'm talking to UVA Arts and you kind of about my book, and I've already graduated back in 2017. So it stays with you. UVA felt like a family to me, especially UVA Arts felt like a family to me. And I think that that means a lot to a lot of people. And of course, I highly recommend everybody to support and be part of the UVA Arts. It's not just the institute, it's a support system.